Good morning, Chad. Have you ever excitedly agreed to do something with your friends only to... Hang on, I forgot who I was talking to. First, pretend you have friends. Now imagine reluctantly agreeing to do something that you don't want to do with them, but you go and end up having a good time anyway. Well, that was my experience going to see the Minecraft movie with my very real friends that definitely exist. I really didn't want to see the movie because the reviews weren't great, and we had waited a little while to see it, so the trend of throwing stuff and cheering throughout the whole movie was firmly underway. And the cherry on top was the fact that YouTube reviewers that I usually trust were complaining about every part of the film, saying things like, the Minecraft movie's a cash grab, the plot has no payoffs, Jack Black sets an unrealistic body standard that men could never hope to achieve by normal means. And here's the thing, I don't think these criticisms are necessarily wrong. The plot is simple and the characters are super one-dimensional. And our theater did in fact have teenagers throwing stuff and creating chaos the whole time. Yet, I still left the film talking with my friends about how much we unironically enjoyed the Minecraft movie. And this got me thinking, do movies really need to be good to be good? It's kind of hard to define what makes a movie good because people have different standards and they value different things. Generally speaking though, I think most people would agree that a good movie has at least one of these three elements. Most good movies usually find a way to do one or two of these things really well. Take Mad Max Fury Road, for example. This movie is basically a 2-hour-long chase scene, and it's an incredible looking one, but the story and the characters are simple. And yet, Fury Road is still a good film because it excels in what it's trying to do. A truly fantastic movie though, movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, Parasite, or Arrival, they blend story, character, and theme into something that's greater than the sum of their parts. These films transcend their medium, essentially becoming works of art akin to Hamlet or Shrek is Love. Not every movie needs to be judged by the same standard as these masterpieces though. At the end of the day, movies are just supposed to be a form of entertainment. Yeah, it's great when a film is a masterclass in artistic visual storytelling, but some movies can elevate their status for one simple reason. They're fun. Can movies be fun and good? Sure, but they don't always have to be. If a movie is fun enough, it can be lacking in every other aspect and still be an enjoyable film. If you've seen any of the Deadpool movies, then you understand this perfectly well. These films are purpose-built to be pure, unadulterated fun. Characters and stories in the Deadpool movies aren't bad by any means, but they tend to be tropey in a way that allows for Deadpool's signature irreverent brand of satire. And this is especially the case in Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie is mostly a means to put two iconic characters on screen together and have fun cameos. It's honest about being 2 hours of fan service, humor, and action, and it made over $1 billion. So, if a movie is fun enough, people are going to watch it. And this takes me all the way back to the film that started this train of thought for me, the Minecraft movie. We've sort of already established that the Minecraft movie falls short of traditional movie standards by a lot. But this movie isn't trying to be a cinematic masterpiece. I mean, the opening line of the movie is literally a meme.
My name is Steve. And as a child, I yearned for the mines.
How did anyone review this seriously? Were there people genuinely expecting the Minecraft movie to be peak cinema? It's pretty obvious that it's just trying to be dumb fun, and the amount of people that seem to have missed that is beyond me. I was listening to a podcast where someone complained about the moment where Jennifer Coolidge hits a villager with her car and says,
"You're not gonna sue me, are you? Because everyone wants to sue me once I hit them with my Jeep Grand Cherokee."
And this person said it bothered her because it felt like a commercial. Be so for real. You couldn't tell that was a joke? Paid ad by Jeep or not, you heard that line and you took it seriously.
You just blowing from Stupid Town?
The Minecraft movie is full of dumb, awkward, funny lines like this, and it made me and my friends realize something. The Minecraft movie is just a modern day version of movies like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. The scene where the waitress asks the villager, "Are you finished?" and Coolidge responds with,
No, I think he's Swedish.
that feels like it could have been taken straight out of Napoleon Dynamite. Similar to the Minecraft movie, Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre aren't great by traditional standards either. In fact, Napoleon Dynamite doesn't even really have a plot. You're just kind of following Napoleon around while he does weird stuff. And that's okay. Both of these movies have cult followings and are beloved because of how silly and fun they are. They know they're dumb. They're not trying to be anything other than stupid humor. And that's exactly what the Minecraft movie is going for. I learned while writing this script that the guy who directed the Minecraft movie also directed and wrote both Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. This guy made his career by giving us some of the best dry humor movies ever, and people are missing the point. If more people could just relax and not take everything so seriously, they'd find that there are a lot more movies that are worth watching than they might think. The Minecraft movie and Nacho Libre are examples of films that aren't meant to be taken seriously by design. But there exists a type of film that genuinely tries to be good, but falls so short and is such a mess that it becomes just as enjoyable to watch as intentionally silly movies. I kind of made up a completely original phrase that I don't think anyone has ever used before to describe these movies. I call them so bad, they're good. Pretty sick, right? There are a lot of movies that kind of fit this idea, but I mostly wanted to talk about my favorite, Twilight. I'm admittedly a massive fan of the Twilight series. I've got board games from the movies, I've got a Robert Pattinson shirt, I even got married in Forks just because I thought it would be funny to get to tell people that I got married where Twilight takes place. That being said, I know these aren't good movies, but you can't watch them with the same frame of mind that you might watch The Batman or Shawshank Redemption. If you do, of course you're gonna hate them for being overly dramatic and for having horrible dialogue. But if you lean into the campiness and you're just able to turn your brain off and laugh at the movie, you'll enjoy films like Twilight 100 times more.
Nessie? You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?!
A movie's appeal can certainly be a tightly written narrative with characters that make us feel something, but that doesn't need to be the only appeal for movies. A few years ago, a friend of mine told me that instead of rating movies on a scale of 0 to 10, he rates them from -10 to 10, and the further away from 0 a movie is, the more enjoyable it is to watch. And I wish more people would adopt this mindset, because a really bad funny movie can be just as enjoyable an experience as a really good thoughtful movie. Like, I don't think I can remember the first time I saw The Dark Knight, but I'll definitely never forget crying laughing at this stupid scene from High School Musical. So if movies that are purposefully bad can actually be good, and movies that are unintentionally bad can actually be good, is there really anything that makes a movie not worth watching? I'm sure plenty of you rolled your eyes at the fact that in just this video, I mentioned enjoying Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, and the Twilight series. But just because I'm a fan of stupid movies doesn't mean I can't tell when a movie is genuinely bad. In my head, there are a few things that can make a movie not worth watching, and the first one is just straight up that it's boring. I know boring is just as subjective as fun, but I'm going to try to quantify this a little bit. A movie can be boring just because the plot doesn't make sense, or the characters and story aren't interesting, or the movie isn't bad enough that you can laugh at it. A good example of this is Marvel's Eternals. None of the characters are very endearing, the plot doesn't really draw you in, and it's just not as funny as some of the other Marvel films. It just doesn't do anything that makes it stand out or hold your attention. The next thing that I think makes a movie genuinely bad is if the movie has a goal, but it fails to reach it. An example of this is how Batman v Superman was supposed to be set up for the Justice League. This was supposed to be the launching point for the DCEU, but instead it failed to get us to care about any of the characters that they tried to shoehorn into the movie. The last thing that I think can make a movie not worth watching is just flat out missing the point. For example, the first Suicide Squad. If any movie should have been fun, it should have been this one. Instead, what we got was a poorly paced movie with terribly written characters and boring generic action. Whereas the Suicide Squad understood the assignment and provided for an actual entertaining viewing experience. Another example of movies that miss the point are adaptations that are nothing like their original story. The worst ones that I can think of are live action adaptations of anime like the Death Note or the Attack on Titan movies. And I'm sure there are many reasons why you might consider a movie not worthy of your time, but these are just the main ones for me. A little while ago, I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine with my first wife when she suddenly said she was bored. Not because the show was bad, but because the stakes just felt too low for what she was in the mood for. So we switched to something heavier. And that didn't retroactively make Brooklyn Nine-Nine a bad show, it just wasn't hitting for us in that moment. And movies are the same way. I'm not trying to convince you that movies like Twilight or the Minecraft movie are secretly masterpieces on the level of Parasite. I just want people to see that movies don't have to be good to be worth watching. Sure, in an ideal world, every film would be tightly written and emotionally resonant and still find time to be dumb, funny, heartwarming, or tell the story of a 118-year-old falling in love with a teenager in a compelling way. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world. Studios will always make cash grabs and directors will continue missing the mark. That doesn't mean these movies have to be worthless though. With the right mindset, any film can be a fun, memorable experience. I like to think of a good movie like an expensive meal at a nice restaurant. It's put together with purpose, each ingredient used to perfection, every element intentionally placed on the plate by a master of their craft. It's an amazing experience that you probably won't forget. But sometimes it's 3 a.m. and all you're in the mood for is a nacho cheese Doritos Locos taco from Taco Bell, and that taco hits different than any dish from any fancy restaurant ever could. Sure, you might have to turn your brain off to enjoy some of these films, but honestly, every now and then it's good to just let go and have fun watching a stupid film. Alright, see ya!